Hey, all. Said I'd come back and at some point during the wing infill and uh, and just talk about that. You see, I've cleaned the desk off to the point of it's just immaculate right now. So for clarity, I wanted everybody to be able to see clearly what I was going to be talking about. And so, no, it's a mess. It's not clean. It's never clean, and it's never probably ever going to be clean. But here we are. So, working on the wing infill. This is the top surface. That's our dihedral. The bottom surface is complete. So here you see that the landing gear installation is modular, which means I'll be able to finish the wing, sand it, polish it, everything. And then we'll be inserting the piece that holds the landing gear wire as one unit. It's a sandwich with the wire in the middle, pre-bent to the proper angle and so on. And so once the wing is completely, almost complete, I'm going to leave a little bit, not fully finished here on the bottom, because there will be some sanding to blend the two pieces of balsa that sandwich the landing gear piano wire. So not complete, but as what my concern had been is now not a concern. So we'll be able to do that. Now I still am working on whether or not I'll be installing the wires bent per the drawing, or will I be instead cutting them off straight and then passing axle portions, just short sections of the piano wire that would work as an axle through each of the wheel pants, and then just installing the completed wheel pants with the wheels installed on them onto the piano wire that comes down from the wing, along with their fairings already attached to them. So if you're familiar with the airplane, let's see if I can put some light on this. So, let's see what that looks like. So in other words, instead of having the wire come down and be bent outward, and that portion that bends outward acting as the axle, I would just cut them off straight right about here. So the wire would come down and terminate right about here, so that I could just drill a hole in the top inside portion of the wheel pan and install it onto that post, along with the adhesive that would be run along the edge of the wheel fairing, this part that comes down and acts as a fairing for that. And that would be the glue joint there. So that's what I'm working on. If I do it where it comes out through, if it's one continuous wire that comes out and also does the axle, it has to wrap the outside of the wheel pants, and I don't like that. That's not true to scale. I'd rather have it come into the top and do it that way. So that's where I'm leaning that way on the project, especially since we're building toward a pretty decent outcome. If I get this wing shaped properly and sanded smoothly, it's going to look pretty good on this airframe, which is coming together squarely and neat. This is a pretty clean build. This is a lot more straightforward, I think, than the Aranca Champion, which the whole idea of the Aranca Champion, if you watch those videos, was to get a hold of a basic airplane. The Aranca Champion, just a real simple small kit, and just build it, do the little enhancements that I do, but because it was a small and basic kit, and that kit that project turned out to be time consuming because of some aspects of the fuselage, some aspects of the airplane that were difficult to reproduce. And this one, it's all pretty straightforward. It's a torpedo fuselage. It has very simple fairings around the tail. The most complicated aspect of this will be the wing fairing, the wing root fairings on either side, and a little bit of the landing gear And then, of course, with this one, as with the Air Express, the paint job is going to be a bit of a poser, masking it properly and getting it painted. But I think, again, what I'll do is half and half. We'll bag the front half of the airplane to about here and do all the tail masking and spray the tail with the accent color. This is after everything's overall white, racing white. We'll bag the front half of the airplane, mask and paint the red trim on the tail, and then we'll come back and mask the tail and paint the wing, the same red border around the wings, paint up the landing gear, and paint the cowl stripe and the side stripe on the fuselage. And the rest of it will be done with decaling. So I think that's, you know, how that's going to go, but it's still a process, and it's still involved because of the extent of, you know, trying to make sure that these are all symmetrical, that these lines are all the same, border width the same, that they parallel the actual shape of the tail and elevator, wing, and so forth. So there's gonna, you know, that's a process. But at any rate, this is where we're at. These parts here are these wheel fairings like this. This would be the bottom where it connects to the top of the wheel housing, the wheel pant. This portion here. So I'll use these as a pattern. I'll actually at least double, I may be tripling the thickness of this and sanding to wing form, sanding to an airfoil shape. Just flat pieces of wood there. That's basic elemental for a rubber band flyer that you don't want to add a lot of weight to. I'll be using this as essentially as a pattern, and we'll be probably tripling the thickness of this. Those supports were substantial. So at any rate, this is where we are. You can see I'm doing the infill on the top of the wing symmetrically. This is the run that I'm working from right here. This run fits to the leading edge on this side. It would fit on both sides. It's the same deal, but this is the side I'm working on. We'll cut another run for this side here, and then we'll cut two quad sets, two pieces that will cover these 4 openings on each side. And all that should be able to come out of this, hopefully, because, well, that's almost all I've got left. Actually, I have these 2 pieces left, so we've got enough material to finish this airplane without any problem, I think. And that's always a good thing, having enough material on hand. It looks like I'll have to place another order from National Balsa for the F4B Cleveland model of the F4B Boeing. But that's the last airplane for the time being. And there's still the boat project. The boat is a Coast Guard 41-foot utility boat in 1/24th scale, I think. And then there's a plastic model there, and there might be some more plastic models. And if you're familiar with, I might have mentioned this on another video at some point, that I like to, every once in a while, I'll work one of those plastic kits just as a reset, just to, I don't know, it's for fun. I hand them off to the little guy. My grandson gets to basically play with all those, so it's just a reset for me. They're a lot less involved in this and a lot less taxing. You just follow the directions, put them together, paint them, and away you go. It's a much simpler task than this, and so I'm feeling a reset coming on, so that's what we're going to do there. I've got some older kits here piling up that I need to get to, and that'll happen at some point. But for now, this is where we are on the Red Lion. It's coming together. Once I get the wing infilled completely, which is going to be soon, I'll be able to begin sanding and cleaning it up. You can see I've got the wingtips started. All I do is lay on a couple of pieces, and I wanted to show you that too. I've got the blanks here. So this stuff comes from either 1/4 inch or 3/16 sheet balsa, heavy sheet thickness, just for basically wingtips or anything else that might need a block or a substantial piece of balsa. So we lay the bottom pieces in. You know, I cut the spars as they indicate, as if I was going to paper of the airplane, but I always end the stringers at the last former, like here and here. Just end them there. Don't tow them down to the wingtip like you would do on a paper airplane, paper tissue covered airplane. And then I lay these pieces on surrounding the spar there, but then the top piece will lay right over the top. And usually I'll just cut it around from wherever the rib rises above the basic deck that I put in. And so we'll just cut a rounded out piece that goes from, I guess, leading edge to about this point. You don't want to add, a ton of material that you're just going to sand away, so that's why I do that. There's no need for both pieces on top, or all three pieces on top, to be exactly the same size when the bulk of this area here is already going to be sanded away. But I just want to show you how I do that. And it's not, it's not a big deal. It's just a wingtip, and anybody probably could have made the assumption. I just wanted to actually show it. So that's how I do those. Always with the grain running in the same direction, if I can, to the surface. It's really not mission critical to do that. It helps for sanding, but it's okay to cross sand when you're using a ton of filler and spackling products. You're going to eliminate the grain anyway. But for it just feels better to have it all running in the same direction. It sands better initially, and you can get a better finish with it if you're not going to be using fillers. And so it just becomes habit. You want the grain to all run the same way out of habit more than anything else, just in case, I guess. I mean, you try to do it, but it's okay if you end up with a piece or two that aren't facing the same way because you're out of material or what have you. Alright, so that's where we are as of right now. Gilmore Lion, Dumas kit number 402, Roscoe Turner's airplane. I want to say he won a race in this airplane, but I'm not sure. I think actually it wasn't until he got into the Laird Turner airplane that he won the Cleveland National Thompson Trophy race, but don't quote me on that. He definitely raced this airplane. I'm just not sure that he won with it, but that's okay. Can't all be winners, Bobby. It's from Bad Santa. Anyway, here we are. This is a catch-up video, and I'm going to finish up this wing, get it sanded, and then we'll take another look when I get it spackled, and we'll get around halfway through the process. We'll light it up again and take another look at it and just see where we're at. I did want to talk about shaping the leading edges. I know some of the guys on some of the forums have trouble with that. I know that I do infilled wings, and so when I'm shaping these, it seems like it might be a little different, but it's really exactly the same idea, whether you've got infill or whether you're just sanding the skeleton. You do it all the same way, and I'll talk about that when it comes time to do the leading edges. Hopefully this video will remind me that I said that, and then and I'll remember to do it. Alright, everybody have a great day. Thanks for viewing the channel. Appreciate it. I think I've got 45 subscribers now, and I want to thank every one of you. So, thank you for that. Appreciate that. You all have a good day.